The Ottoman palace was a place of unimaginable power, golden luxury, and deadly secrets. Behind its towering walls and jeweled gates, the rulers of one of the greatest empires in history lived surrounded by beauty, servants, and absolute authority. But inside those same halls, whispers of betrayal, poison, and silent executions echoed through the night. Because in the Ottoman court, death often came quietly, mysteriously. One of the most chilling stories begins in the 16th century, during the reign of Sultan Suleiman the Magnificent. Suleiman ruled the Ottoman Empire at the height of its power. His armies conquered vast lands, his laws shaped an empire, and his palace, the legendary Topkapi Palace, became the center of political intrigue. Yet even in this golden age, darkness lurked. Among Suleiman's many sons, one stood above the rest: Prince Mustafa. Mustafa was brave, intelligent, and deeply loved by both the army and the people. Many believed he would one day become the next great sultan. But in the Ottoman court, popularity could be dangerous, because another powerful figure watched Mustafa rise with growing fear: Harem Sultan. Harem was Suleiman's beloved wife and one of the most influential women in Ottoman history. She wanted the throne not for Mustafa, but for her own son. And in a palace where power meant survival, rivals rarely lived long. Soon, rumors began spreading through the court, whispers that Prince Mustafa was planning to overthrow his own father. Letters appeared, accusations surfaced, and the once trusted prince suddenly became a suspected traitor. Historians still debate the truth. Some believe the evidence was fabricated. Others say palace conspirators manipulated the sultan's fears, but the result was deadly. In 1553, Sultan Suleiman summoned his son Mustafa to the royal military camp. Mustafa believed he was being called to explain the accusations. Instead, he walked straight into a trap. As the prince entered his father's tent, imperial executioners suddenly surrounded him. These silent killers were known as the Bostank, the palace guards trained to carry out royal executions. Mustafa fought desperately, but royal law allowed only one method for killing members of the royal family: strangulation with a silk cord. Within minutes, the beloved prince, the empire's most popular heir, was dead. His body was carried away quietly. No trial, no final words recorded, just silence. Across the empire, shock spread like wildfire. The army mourned the prince they once supported. The people whispered that a terrible injustice had occurred, and many blamed Harem Sultan and her allies for orchestrating the conspiracy. But Mustafa's mysterious death was only one of many within the Ottoman court. The empire had a brutal tradition designed to prevent civil war. When a new sultan took the throne, his brothers were often executed to eliminate rival claims. This practice, known as royal fratricide, turned the palace into a place where brothers feared brothers, and sons feared their own fate. One of the darkest examples came in 1595, when Sultan Mehmed III became ruler. He ordered the execution of 19 of his own brothers in a single night. 19 princes, most were children. Their small coffins were buried quietly beside their father's tomb. Even by Ottoman standards, the event horrified observers. European diplomats described the palace as a place where power was guarded by murder. And sometimes, death arrived in even stranger ways. Poisonings were rumored. Sudden illnesses claimed royal figures overnight. Prisoners inside the palace's infamous cage, where rival princes were locked away for years, often lost their sanity or their lives. One such tragic figure was Sultan Ibrahim I. After spending years imprisoned in isolation, Ibrahim finally became sultan. But the psychological damage was severe. His unstable behavior terrified court officials. Eventually, palace leaders decided the empire could not survive under his rule. In 1648, the sultan himself was quietly strangled, a ruler killed inside his own palace. The Ottoman court had devoured another victim. These mysterious deaths reveal a chilling truth about imperial power. Behind the gold, the jewels, and the grand ceremonies, the Ottoman palace was a battlefield without swords, where whispers could destroy a prince, where alliances changed overnight, and where survival often depended on eliminating your own family. Prince Mustafa's death remains one of the greatest mysteries in Ottoman history. Was he truly plotting rebellion? Or was he simply too popular, too dangerous to powerful enemies? The truth may have died with him inside that royal tent, But his story reminds us that in the courts of kings, the greatest threat was rarely an enemy army. It was the people standing closest to the throne, and in the Ottoman palace. Trust could be far more deadly than war, if you enjoy uncovering the dark secrets of royal history. Make sure to subscribe to Obsidian Dynasty and turn on notifications, because the stories of kings, queens, and empires are often far more dangerous than the history books ever reveal. And in our next video, we'll uncover another chilling royal mystery that changed history forever. Stay curious and stay royal.